I'm still waiting for the stream to do its thing.
Are we
Oh,
here?
video is
Oh,
unavailable.
it's
Unavailable.
up for me now.
Wow.
Oh, now it
Refresh.
went away.
We're
Now it's back.
at it.
I'll wave my hands and see if I see him.
Cha cha cha.
Okay, looks like
There
we're
it is.
back up.
We're back.
Wow. Internet sucks here at my house sometimes. Only when
That's how it
I'm
be.
doing, it works great when I'm gaming or something. But if I'm working or streaming on Twitch, that's whenever it doesn't like me. So, like the only times that it's important.
Yeah, you don't get to use your internet to make money
Right.
or
Yeah.
do your job
Yeah.
or do other things that are important.
Yeah. But, Counter-Strike loads that fine. Yeah, we're back. So we left off with Dan filling the void on this table with his body fluids.
Mhm. Not the one it's expecting, probably.
Yeah, not bleeding into it. He is peeing into this diamond shape relief on this table. And you fill it to like the full bit, like right when you reach where it's pretty much full and it's just about to spill over. There's a flash of light, and the contents of it just disappear. And you are now
at least they didn't
continuing to
spray into my
pee into
face.
this empty mason, and it starts filling up again.
Oh, well, y'all want to take a turn at this?
What are we doing? You already peed in it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it magicked my POA, which is kind of neat. I mean,
Yeah. It probably wants blood.
Have we got a product
just
for you
more pee.
in your outhouse?
No, I'm pretty sure it doesn't want more pee. Let's go back and get a corpse.
Yeah, we could probably find one of them.
Yeah, either
There's a few of
Dan,
them
one of
around
your
here.
yeah,
I
either
mean, Jake's not here.
I don't think any of like the things you fought in the dungeon have in it, because you've been only fighting like skeletons and things. But
There's that
you've
guy who
definitely got a
died at
few.
the beginning.
well, we got our own corpses for
Yeah.
those of you who have lost, and then we got that dude who died in the beginning. Or we can just say Jake's
Dude who
character
died in the
volunteers.
beginning would be a little difficult to
naked.
get now
It's
that
weird.
the
Cat's
boulder rolled on
bleeding.
top of him.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
I
fuck,
mean,
I
my
forgot
old
it.
character, my first halfling, should still be around there somewhere.
Yeah, but I think Dan's
You know what?
character.
I got this. It's easy. Jake's character walks up,
Yeah.
pulls a knife, cuts his hand open, and pours some blood into it.
Okay.
Yes.
Poor Jake's character.
Hey,
Using his
Jake
own
told us
knife.
to kill his character. He's using his own knife.
Okay. So, Jake's character walks up. And so he cuts himself like on his hand, you said?
Yeah, it's like across his palm.
Okay.
Like
so
you always
cuts
see in the
himself-
movies where they're just like, ha.
I never understand like why you
It's
would do
the
that.
worst
That'd be
place to
such
do
a,
that.
a
Highly
painful.
impractical.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything or manipulating things with your hands, so painful.
Right. I mean, it's not even like the most efficient place to get blood from you.
Right. I want to see somebody slice their hand in a movie and then immediately try and climb a rope and just have agonizing, searing pain the entire
Yeah.
time. And be like, this was
Yeah.
a stupid idea. Why
Never
did
makes
I do it?"
sense.
Or just
It's,
do anything really that requires operating your hand.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Jake takes the knife and drags
But-
it across his forehead
So
and kind of leans over and
Just, like,
pours it in.
jabs it into his neck. Kind of makes like one of those like siphons you see on the side of trees.
Just makes a little tap.
Little spigot. That's it.
Yeah.
Gives
No.
himself a treat.
So slices himself across the hand. That's where we're going with the first thing. So he walks up to it, slits his hand using his knife, and kind of puts his hand to the side of this and holds it, and it drips. And when it hits the bottom of this stone, it almost loses like the surface tension of the blood, and it kind of fans out more than would make sense. But also when it does that, his hand starts to bleed this like continuous stream from his hand into this basin. And you see the color start to like drain from his face and his arm. We're gonna need a check from him.
For Jake's character, that is
It's a vampire coffin.
Danigan Flanagan. What kind of role do you want?
Danigan.
Oh, he does not have his throws programmed in right.
Might just be a constitution check.
Yeah,
Because I think this would be. I mean, technically, this would be paralysis or turn to stone.
Okay,
Oh.
so his stat there is a 14.
Okay.
So I'm gonna roll. He got a 13. He needed a 14.
Okay. Because he has to roll above it, right?
Yeah, he's got to roll above it.
Okay. Well, good news is Jake bleeds enough to fill the basin. Bad news is Jake bleeds enough to fill the basin. And he slowly, you see the color kind of drain from him as he's like, he kind of moves his other hand. He's almost like trying to stop the bleeding and puts it in place. And he slowly starts to crack and form. And then he kind of resembles one of those statues that's holding the basin as he freezes and turns into stone in that position.
So we killed Jake's character.
Yeah.
And we made a lovely statue.
Yes.
Does anything happen with the blood?
So once the blood fills this basin all the way to the lid, it flashes again, kind of like how it did before. But this time it doesn't disappear, and in its place you just see this like hardened dark red diamond.
Oh shit! There's our fucking diamond.
Seems to be
I'll
about
pick
the
it
same
up.
size as that one in the wall,
Or Jake.
or the door.
Like,
He
Yeah.
told us to kill his character.
we did that very quickly.
Gotta had him take his stuff off of him first before he turned to stone.
Well, we didn't know he was going to turn to stone.
Yeah, everything that was on him also turned to stone.
Yeah.
Well,
Did he- I
maybe
don't-
someday we can haul his statue out of here and we can put it in our new office.
Yeah.
Oh, he had 4 gold on
He'd be a
him.
good coat rack or something. Like his hands are out, you know?
Yeah.
The good news is he didn't have anything crazy good on him.
That's good. Because it's all stone.
All right, let's pick up this weird blood diamond.
Okay.
And I want to take it and I want to put it on the table.
On the table?
Yeah.
So this was on the table. That
Wait,
It's
I
like-
thought it formed
that's where
at the
he made
feet
it.
of the statue.
No.
No,
that-
so
that
he
we-
was bleeding into the hole on the table.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we didn't ask this, but does this table like move or anything like that?
Looking at it, it doesn't look like it does. It's just this heavy, solid chunk of stone that's like sitting on the ground. It doesn't
right.
look like it was carved out of the same stone that's on the ground. Like it looks like a separate slab. But you haven't tried to move it. It looks very, very heavy just by looking at it.
Well, anything that looks heavy is obviously too heavy for my character. So
I'm going to put the stone or the red diamond at the feet of that statue and see what happens.
Okay. Nothing seems to happen. It doesn't look like there's really a slot to put it. Just looks like there's like a depiction of that. You notice that
Okay.
the dimensions, the angles on that diamond look identical to the one that you're holding.
Okay. So this was just our tutorial.
yeah.
Yeah.
How to make blood diamond.
Usually I just
This is
ask
a
Leonardo
diamond that
DiCaprio,
wants
but
blood. Yes. That's the
okay.
that's what you got from it.
Let's go back to the door over yonder.
Back
And
to the void door.
yeah, back to the void door.
Sure. So it's when you go to I'm trying to resize it. Are you also trying to resize it?
No, I can't resize it. That's a GM only tool.
Oh. So you've got your diamond. And it's probably about like almost a foot tall by like a few inches wide. It's like diamond shape. You're holding it in your hand. And as you start walking back towards this door, you get to about let me move the stream. You get to about here in the hallway before you hear movement and clashing kind of coming from this room.
That's weird.
I don't remember leaving that room like that.
Well, I am going to. No, I'm not going to set down the blood diamond because I'm worried these stones might start moving it and crush it. I'll move up
Or
and
I can.
Oh
peek.
yeah, I'll let you peek.
Okay, you move up.
Yeah. Just starting down here, and
Okay.
I'll slowly work my way around the corner until you tell me I see something.
Sure. So you move up to here. There's kind of like this opening here. And you're holding your torch. As you peek around, for a second you like catch what looks like something here in this other room. And as soon as the light hits it, you see it just shift over this direction. You just see this like gray beige mass that shifts out of the way as soon as you're
And just like listen.
so you hear this like shuffling kind of sound, and it speeds up when you get close to it when you came around the corner, and then it slows down to almost nothing, but you still hear like every so often what sounds almost like kind of like a just a heavy object kind of being moving around. That's almost like footsteps, flesh on stone.
I want to give just like a loud like snap
Okay.
and see if it comes back to me from the void or not, or from it.
Okay. You snap. And you hear this like thumping sound. Kind of sounds like a footstep on stone. But it's just like thuk, thuk, thuk. And you see what looks to be this long rope of flesh extending out of the void spot across the room, and it starts kind of like inching its way towards this hole that you're in.
Oh no, I don't like that.
This is all your
Seems to be
fault,
this
Dan.
like amorphous amalgamation of flesh. It's got like bits that kind of look like half-formed arms and things, and every so often it has like a finger or a foot just kind of growing out of the side of it, all deformed. It's got like this really pale gray coloration to the flesh too, almost like someone that hasn't seen the sun in their life.
If only I had more oil. I might take one of my regular darts and see if I can just throw it like against some like the floor or a wall or something that's
Okay.
not near me.
Sure.
Somewhere out here in the room, and see if it starts moving towards that sound.
Ping where you're throwing it.
if I can hit like the wall here or just like the floor
Okay.
somewhere.
You throw it, and it kind of like clatters against the inside corner of this wall. And you see another one of these rope-like flesh things come out of the void. There's one feeling around in the doorway here where you snapped. Doesn't have eyes or anything, you can tell, so it doesn't seem to see you, but it's just kind of feeling around. Occasionally it'll pick up, and the bits of like fingers and hands kind of fan out, and then it closes back up and starts tapping around. And this other rope of flesh comes out and starts feeling around where the dart hit the wall.
Okay, I'm gonna just kind of back up.
You see out of the side of this rope here that's feeling around the wall, a few mouths open up in the side of it. And they open and kind of close a few times, and the whole thing starts to vibrate a little bit as you hear a voice call out, "Is anybody there? Hello?
That's fucked
Is
up.
anybody there? Hello?
Oh, God,
Call
I'm
back.
not gonna answer it.
I'll call back. Is anybody there? Hello?
Is anybody there? Hello?
Is anybody there? Hello?
Friends?
Is anybody hello there?
And it pauses. I think there's something in here. You see the mouths start to shift around. A different set of mouths open up.
I want to shoot it.
Okay.
You got a pretty mouth.
Do that.
Because yeah, so I'll move up to the corner here next to Dan. I'm
Sure.
gonna take a shot. That's a 12 to hit, and if that hits, it's 5 damage.
Okay. 12 does hit.
Okay.
You deal 5 damage. Which one are you shooting? The one that's like in the doorway or the one?
The first one,
for-
the closest one.
Okay. So there's one in the doorway that it's kind of feeling around, and you just catch it like a few feet away from the tip of it. And it writhes and contorts in pain and starts bleeding all over. And it kind of shrinks back.
Does the other one seem unaffected by this?
It doesn't seem to react.
Maybe I can throw a poison dart at it.
Okay. You also see like you shot it with an arrow,
Yeah.
right? So when the arrow sticks in, it kind of contorts and writhes, and it like grabs at the arrow, just kind of wraps around it, and you hear the arrow snap,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of like pushes it farther into itself, and it just spills blood out everywhere around the opening. Kind of retracts.
I have 9
Okay.
arrows now.
Well, I'll try and throw a poison dart at this one that's now up at this corner.
Okay. Give me an attack.
Gosh, do I even get any bonuses on this? Yes, I do. 10.
Unfortunately, your dart pings right next to it.
Yeah,
As it
gosh,
does, you see it kind of writhe and it fans out a little bit, and closes back and starts feeling around the general area where the dart pinged, and then it starts feeling around where it heard it hit the ground, and it finds the dart after it clatters to the ground, and kind of grabs it and coils around itself, wraps up, and pulls back down into the void.
Oh, well, if I'm lucky, it stabbed itself. Do we want to like really quietly try and go put this stone in the door?
I mean, we can try. Does anyone have any like oil or anything?
I used all mine up in the previous fight. we could like make a really loud noise of some sort in this corridor down to this side, like at the same time that we try to operate it.
I have no oil.
Yeah, I mean, we got to try something, right?
I mean, it's the only way out, that's for sure. I got some iron spikes, so I could just throw one into that room. I mean,
Shit,
that
I
should
have
make
a-
plenty of noise.
I have a
So like, you go
glass
try to do the
bottle.
door, and then I'll just throw a spike down there.
Yeah, why don't we do that? You throw your spike, try and distract it, and I'll try and run in and get to that door.
Yep.
This is going to be a great idea.
Oh, I'm sure it's the best. Said no one.
Okay. So, Chuck,
That's me.
how far away from the store are you? Where you're at right now?
1992. I would probably kind of move up closer,
Okay.
get as close as I can without being, grabbed.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a good idea where the arm is at right now, so I'm just guessing.
So you said you stepped in right here.
I mean, if the arm was not obviously like touchy feely around there.
So, I mean, from right here, you can't really see it because there's like a small opening here, right? As soon as you step through into here, I'll draw where you see this thing. You see this big mass of gray flesh coming out from. That's not what I wanted to do. Fire shape's so hard. Freehand. See this light gray, and it's kind of wrapped around like this on that arrow.
Okay. And like I said, I kind of want to throw like a spike like down there so it can just clatter around and make a bunch of noise.
Okay.
Uh,
So you
in that little
toss a
corridor.
spike over here.
It's gotta be a full on yeet.
All right. So you throw it that direction, and it goes over and coils itself up in here, feeling around.
Okay.
See a
and I'll
few
have another
mouths
one.
open up closer to where the void's at. And they. Is anybody there?
I'll have another one ready to like throw maybe over here. While Chuck goes to do his thing. And
Yeah.
I'll just,
Once Dan gives me the signal, I'll try and run over and stick the triangle in the door.
I'll have it ready for
Okay.
yeeting and just kind of gesture you over.
Check. As you
Yes.
run over.
Like a motherfucker.
I don't run quietly over. Tippy toes.
You ran. So you make it to the door. As you do, you see this tentacle of rope of flesh that first goes to where you first made sound in the doorway. And then it kind of like follows. It like extends out of the ground like or out of the void like a stake straight to the doorway where you entered the room. And then it kind of curves and follows the path that you ran towards the door.
If I may, I might just throw my spike like right at the ground this way. Like try and like kind of skid it.
Okay.
So like hit
say
this square and then slide into the void.
Don't have an action to do that before this is able to move out and go towards Chuck. Chuck, give me a dexterity save.
Dexterity save or death ray?
We'll do death ray.
Yeah.
Nice.
One success.
Well, your save must be fucking great.
Well, I'm a
So-
dwarf, so I get 4 bonus to all my saves.
Mhm.
Nice.
So you see it going towards you, and you kind of like quietly flatten yourself up against the wall, and it goes towards where your feet just were and grabs at them and coils up a little bit. And then, Dan, you're able to throw that dart, and it hits the wall, and it coils off and goes towards this dart, grabs it, and then it kind of slinks itself back into the hole.
It's a dangerous game we're playing.
That's fucked up. I'll put the
Both of the
thing
ropes.
in the door.
Slink back down.
Captain Carrion just dropped 200 bits. That's a fucking thing.
It's a hit die now because the bid
As
price
this,
has gone up.
As this dart slinks back down into the hole, or as this the arm that was over here slinks back down, you see a few of its mouths open up as it's retracting. And it starts to speak again, but you don't hear a voice. You hear what sounds like rubble and all these like weird sound effects kind of coming from its mouth. You hear like metal pinging off of stone, footsteps, and it retracts back down.
Remaking the sounds that we made.
Mm. Very similar to them. All right.
How
So-
does our door do?
Check.
While we're getting ready to do that, I am going to heal.
Oh, okay, you deemed that hit die. All
Ooh,
right.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm now at full hit points.
Great.
I for some reason thought you did better on your heal earlier.
I did not. Oh, I guess, yeah, I had 6 hit points and I went up to 4. So now I'm up to max.
Nice.
All right.
I wasn't at 50%. I thought I was at 50%. I was at math percent.
Yes, that's one of them. It's all of
So
them.
what happens?
So you place this blood diamond into the slot in the door. And it seems to fit almost perfectly. Kind of slinks into place. And you hear it like buzz, and you hear this like high-pitched whine almost. And it gets louder and louder. And you see that kind of vibrating in place and clattering. You hear it kind of clinking against the stone in the door. The high-pitched whine increases in volume until there's a sudden crack. And you see this line spider web through the center of it as the door opens, and there's one piece of it in each half.
Oh, in I go.
Okay.
Because
It
I'm
doesn't
sure
open
the
all the way. It just kind of like cracks and parts open a little bit. So there's like this sliver, but it looks like you can push it in.
yeah, I'm worried them tentacles are coming for me. So as soon as I can see that I can move in, I move in.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll be following quickly behind you
All right.
Anything.
with my soft, tiny, quiet, I'm sure, halfling feet that are not panicking or stomping or anything, I'm sure.
Yes. You
As long as there's no
quickly
scary
run in.
tentacles on the other side of that door.
Coming to hug us from both sides.
You'll see. You're able to draw that pretty well without being able to see it.
I know. It's an art form.
It's a acquired skill, I guess.
Is there a big floppy tentacle on the other side of this door?
Not quite.
It's partially floppy.
There was a flaccid tentacle.
Oh, it's gone.
So, you quickly run inside this room. Are you closing the door again behind you?
No. Probably like step behind the door in
Okay.
case I need to push it close.
I mean,
So
we
you-
might need to leave it.
Quickly run inside. That will let me. And you see what looks like this big altar. And on it is this large skull. It appears to be made out of actual bone. It's not like a depiction of a skull. And it's like this weird bone. Like it looks like it didn't grow. It looks like it's growing almost like wood or something, where it's got like flakes and bits of it that are still sprouting. It's not completely even. It doesn't look like it had flesh over it that has been stripped.
That's fucked up.
And it seems to be like breaking through the wall, kind of.
Okay. Does everyone else make it in?
That's the first thing you notice. The other thing you notice.
There's a guy there. Goes by the name of
Yes.
Boris.
Oh no.
Boris the Blade.
That's a good movie. Where did my tokens go?
I don't know.
Well, I'll find them. You see. Up, up, up. And a the other one. You see this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. Actually, these are probably on the layer you can't see.
They are on the layer we cannot see.
They're on a plane that is separate from our own.
Let him stay there.
I hope so.
So you see this.
Oh, that's like 4 people.
They look like people at first, but you notice they kind of have that same gray flesh. It resembles the flesh you saw in these like ropes, tentacles that were coming out of the void. And they all are like humanoid shape. But the closer you look at them, they're kind of like misshapen. Their arms are like a little bit too big, and there's things growing out of them. And when they turn to you, you see it doesn't really have a face, but it's got like, it looks like a section of this rope that's just been cut off, and it's forming a humanoid shape on it. It's got like an ear here, and one of its mouths is like to the side, and then there's a few eyes that have opened up.
It's like
all in
a,
one
a
spot.
Picasso.
Yeah, a little Picasso-y.
That's fucked up. Let's kill those things.
Now's a good time for initiative.
Them Picasso ropes were never very popular at the museums.
Rolling
Yeah.
initiative. How the fuck do you roll in it? Oh, is it just a D6, right?
I think
Plus
so.
Dex, isn't it? D6 plus Dex. Not that I have any. I
Yeah,
don't-
but everyone liked Picasso when he was a painter more, less of a practical artist.
Mhm.
I get a +1 on my dexterity, so I get a D6 +1.
Because in painting form, it's, you know, abstract art. In real life, it's pretty fucked up.
All right, I got a 7. Go me.
All right. Oh. Change that back. Forgot I was going to change the overlay. There we go. Oh my. There we go. Okay. So 3, 4, 7. All right, there's only 3 of you. And they got That's funny. We got a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, and a 7 in initiative.
What?
Unintentionally.
Fucking math, man.
Yeah.
I didn't approve that.
It was like, you know what the odds of this happening are? Tonight. 'Cause that's math and shit. I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm mostly concerned.
Okay. So, it looks like Chuck. It's going to be your turn first.
Yep. This one token looks different.
Yes.
Does that
So-
one look more or less angry?
So that one looks better put together. It looks just like a zombie at first, but then because you can kind of compare it to these other ones that seem to just be made of like loose ropes of flesh, you can see like the seams where there's ropes, but it looks almost completely put together. It looks almost like slits, but you can kind of tell those slits are there because it's ropes that are just put together more evenly. So
I fight that
a little bit
one.
more advanced than the
Yeah,
others.
I fight that one.
All right. Roll me that attack.
I fight it.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
What happened?
Yay,
Did it
macro.
roll it? My macro
Uh,
didn't do anything.
It said attack Torg and then
Hashtag
nothing else.
attack.
It was a great success and it did max damage. It
Roll
don't
26
even need to see it.
Impotent.
You just need to take my word for it, Joe.
Yeah.
That work? Okay. That's not great. I got a 12.
Does not hit.
Okay. That's my turn.
All right. It is this one's turn. If it's this one's turn. Turns to you, Torg,
Okay.
and it attacks. What's your AC again?
Okay. You can ignore that second one for me. Are you talking me?
Yeah.
17.
All right. It totally misses. It swipes at you. It like unravels its arm almost a little bit, taking a bat at you, but it misses and kind of recomposes itself. Then it's this one's turn.
Oh no.
Trying to rotate it, but your token's in the way. There we go.
Ha ha.
Bop. So it turns to you, and it starts to gesture with its hands, and you see some light kind of form
No.
between its fingers
Oh.
and in the cracks of its body.
No.
And this
It's not
purple
allowed to
light
cast
comes from it,
spells.
And then
and it reaches
explodes.
out to try and grab you,
No.
which I think is also just a touch
It's
attack.
a melee. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard a pretty compelling no.
Unfortunately, that's gonna hit you.
That sucks.
All right.
How
Chuck.
much damage? Or do I need to
Few
make a
things happen,
save?
and they kind of depend on how this works. So, first thing you need to do is give me a. What would that be? Give me a saving throw against spells.
Ooh,
Blew
fucking
that cat.
passed.
Nice.
Good. That means you don't have any permanent effects. Now give me a luck test.
Yeah. My luck is an 11. I think I've got that under rolls. Let me check. Oh, I do. Nope, I fail.
Okay. So, This thing reaches out and it grabs you and it sets a hand on your shoulder. And you instantly feel this like pain, this sharp pain, and your skin starts to contort where it touches you.
That's fucked up.
As you take 1 damage,
Yay.
and it retracts its hand, and you see that there's like an ear that's grown on your shoulder, but the skin to form that ear has just been ripped away from the surrounding bits of your body, and you have this weird, horrible scar, and it starts bleeding.
That's fucked up. I do not want an ear there.
Didn't ask for this.
I have a hard enough time with ear growing on my fucking or hair growing on my ears. Can you imagine how hairy my shoulder ear is going to be?
As a dwarf too, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, like
You
Man.
could braid it.
it'd be like I have one of them fucking troll dolls like sprouting out of my shoulder or some shit.
All right, Eddie, your turn next.
I will.
You see a confused and horrified Torge grabbing an ear on his arm or on his shoulder, and all these zombie things.
Captain Kyrian wants to know if I can hear from the shoulder ear.
You cannot.
Okay.
Purely cosmetic.
Mhm.
For now. Yeah, I'll run up next to Torg, and I'll attack the same one that has tried to horribly disfigure my friend.
Okay. Give me an attack check.
13.
That is exactly enough to hit. Roll
So
Nice.
some damage. Four. Okay. It's still up, but you deal a solid chunk to it. It's bleeding. You kind of sever part of it, so you see it's like trying to reform itself around one of its wounds, but it's hurt pretty bad, and it's not really binding to itself very well.
Take that.
Still up. Okay. After that, it is Dan.
Yay. I'm probably gonna just try and shoot one of them that's not in combat with the rest of my team, so that way if I miss, I don't kill them.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Sometimes I have all right ideas. Not most of the time, just sometimes. I assume a 17 will probably do it.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think you get any damage bonus, so I think it's just 3 damage.
All right. 3 damage to the red one.
No, just for safety's sake, I was picking one not in the combat.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Sure.
So if I missed, I wouldn't shoot somebody on my
Yep.
team I care about.
Nope. That's fine. Yeah, deal 3 damage to it. You sink an arrow into it. The part of the body that you sink the arrow into, it kind of starts to writhe and contort around it. It's like reacting to it, and it's trying to almost push it out of itself. Seems like it hurts.
I told it no. It needs to leave that arrow there.
All right. After your turn goes to the one that you just shot, which I keep doing that. And it's going to turn towards you.
Oh,
And it doesn't like that you shot it.
I don't like that it exists, but
It's going to take a swipe at you. From the half of its body that's not writhing in pain around this arrow, it reaches out its other arm. It can swipe. And let's see.
I think it's about to be. I think it's about to be
What's your
goodbye
AC?
team. It's 13.
I rolled a natural 14, so
Yeah,
It
there's a
hits.
reason why I was staying away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Because not only do I have low AC, I also have low health. So I'm probably dead.
Dealing a d6. 5 damage.
Yeah, I'm dead. So
Rip
Damn it, we have no backup.
Timothy.
Okay.
Mhm.
Starting next turn, you will be right here as
Who's
your
your
next
next
character.
Let's see. Who's number 3?
I hope it's a big strapping
Clooney.
guy or something.
Clooney is number 3, and he's also a thief. So
Excellent.
That's
I
this
Mhm.
one's
can't-
turn. It's going to move up. And it's going to take a swipe at Eddie. Eddie, what's your
You
AC?
bastard. My AC
Doesn't
is
matter.
17.
It hits.
You
Healing
bastard.
you. Also 5 damage.
Kitty shit. I am hurt.
All right.
Ripperoni.
Mhm.
After that, wraps around. Chuck, your turn.
I try to fight the one directly in front of me.
Okay.
I'd highly recommend making it dead this turn.
I will take that into strong consideration. Fuck.
Doesn't
I'm
hit.
going to use a reroll.
All right.
This is probably a good decision.
So this will be whatever I roll +2.
There you
Okay.
go.
That's a hit.
All right. And then an 8 on damage +1. 5 damage.
That is enough. You swipe it straight down the center, and it splits into these two writhing halves of rope. And then it slowly kind of deflates and bleeds out on the ground.
Okay. We did it. We killed one of them. We have
Mm.
4 rerolls left.
Well, that's not too bad.
Okay. That's
Where's
my
the
turn.
there's a way to set it as like, oh, it's this one. Bop. There we go. Okay. So that one is dead. Now it's this one's turn. It's going to take a swipe at you, Chuck. It does not hit. Then it is Eddie's turn.
All right. I'm going to swipe at this one right in front of me.
Okay. Roll to hit.
17.
That's a hit. Yep.
Let's see here. Oh, wait. I haven't been rolling with my full attack bonus. That should have been 18. Oh, well. Doesn't matter. 8 damage.
Okay. That kills it.
Nice.
Sweet.
Kills it dead. You do a
That's
similar
the best
thing. You
way.
cut through it. You cut it in 2 different lengths of flesh rope, and it bleeds out on the ground. Now there are 2 left. As it moves to Dan, you are outside of the room.
Gosh.
From outside of the room, you're able to run in, but you do hear a voice call out. Is anyone there? I think I fell. And you hear the sound of rubble breaking, metal pinging, all coming from the void.
Well, I know where my friends are at, I think, because I can see them through this
You
door.
do.
I assume.
Yeah, you do.
So
So-
I'll start by attempting to shoot this guy.
Okay. Are you moving at all?
I'm gonna shoot first, and then I'll probably move.
Okay.
Um,
Roll to hit. Unfortunately, it's not hit. Just barely does not hit.
Yeah. Is it worth it to use a reroll, do you think?
Go for it.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's a hit. Roll for damage.
3 more damage.
It's dead.
Yay. That's my favorite way for them to be.
So you shoot into it. Your arrow hits in another part of its body, and it kind of writhes around that as well. Loses a lot of blood, kind of collapses on the ground, and starts deflating, just making this puddle of.
Sweeney will then move
Body
to his
fluids on the
dead
ground.
brother, Timothy.
All right. So, there's one still up. I believe it gets a turn. Yep.
I'll
It's
watch
gonna
him
take
come over
a
here and kill
swipe
Clooney as
at
well.
Chuck, who is the closest.
That's rude.
Wow. Does a 14 break your AC?
No, my AC's 17.
Not enough AC stonks.
It misses. Slaps you. No damage. All right, then it moves over to Chuck.
I'm going to attack that one right back.
Okay.
Let's click the buttons. Swinging a 19 for 2 damage.
Okay. Still up.
Okay, that's my turn.
Okay. After that, it is Eddie.
And I'm going to kind of step past these guys and take a swing at them from the other side.
Okay. We'll see if you hit.
I'm going to properly roll this time. 14.
That hits.
4 damage.
That's exactly enough to kill it.
Nice.
Woot.
As you slice it through, drops dead.
Give it a little
All
kick
right.
on the... Ugh.
You do so.
Did that backwards.
So. Okay. So you're standing in this room. There's these 4 corpses. What else do you see? So the other thing that you'll notice, growing out kind of now that the fight's done, you see that there are all sorts of these bits of flesh that kind of resemble these guys that you've just killed, that are growing from like around the seams of the skull that's in the wall.
I'm gonna go hit the
between-
skull.
Okay. The other thing you'll see real quick is it looks like there's more of those bowls that have like the acid, and it looks like all of the looks like just sections of this flesh is like grown out and then burned with acid. So it looks like it grew out, was then cut and then cauterized with acid, and then it's kind of like shriveled back. So you see all these like dead ropes that are attached to all the edges of the skull.
That's fucked up. Like they were keeping it in check or something.
Either they're keeping it in check or like they were making little rope people as it grew out.
Good. Oh, that reminds me. I cut that fucking ear off my shoulder.
Okay, you do that. So it's not functional. You don't like hear anything out of it or whatever. It just looks like the flesh has been formed in an ear. But you cut it. Roll me a d4.
4.
So, you go to like cut it off, and it goes like a lot deeper into your shoulder than you were expecting. And as you like cut it out, you actually start bleeding a little bit. Take 4 damage.
I have one
One.
hit point left.
Whew.
Oh,
One
Captain
more ear than
Kieran's
you bargained
healing
for.
me up. I heal 6. I'm back at full hit points.
All right.
Wow.
That
You
you
know,
do.
before we do anything, can we check these doors that I presume lead out of here to see if we can open them up?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. Yeah. You go down to those doors. So
Captain Carrion got us
this
another hit die to bank.
I could.
this door
I
seems
could-
to be barred on the side that you're on.
Mhm.
And when you go over to it, you're able to lift up that bar and open it up.
Okay, that's a good start.
These two doors to the south, however, are not. You don't see any. Kind of like how they were on the other side. You don't see any means of opening them.
Okay,
Looks like
and
they're
if I push on them, nothing happens.
nothing. Seems like there's some mechanism holding them shut that has not been triggered.
Okay, I might go ahead and once these doors over here are open, go ahead and stake them open
Okay,
just in case.
sure. Stake these doors open.
Beyond that, I'm not even sure what to do with this stupid freaky rope skull thing.
We could just take a bunch of fucking acid and splash it all over it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we can't get to the room with the acid directly.
Is that door sealed?
That door's
No,
open.
this door's open
and,
now.
and so
Well,
is the
the
diamond door. It'd be
Acid's right
faster.
here.
Oh, there is some right there. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I got a glass bottle. I'll go fill it with acid.
Okay.
Oh, and we put a big jar up underneath it earlier too.
Oh yeah, is
Yeah.
that jar still there?
Yep, jar's still there.
I'll take that jar of acid and I'll just splash it all over the skull.
Great. You grab it. Definitely seems to be full of acid. So you throw it on the skull.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you throw it on the skull, it doesn't really seem to react too much with the bone. And it looks like the bone's pretty well bleached. Like,
Okay.
it looks like it's already been kind of covered in acid before.
Okay.
Does any of it run onto
But the bits,
ropey
yeah, so
extrusions?
bits of it that splash onto the flesh that's growing through the cracks in the wall, like shrivel up and kind of react to it, but then they quickly like die and fade out. And that like part of the skin and flesh dies as more starts trying to like pulse its way and grow into its place.
That's
Gross.
gross.
Do there appear to be any other mechanisms in here by chance?
Not just by looking around. You do see, just looking around this room, the only thing of note is that it looks like the skull is big enough to go inside of. There's like
You
a
going
big
in?
void underneath it.
Oh boy.
I'm not going in.
Well, Clooney has a death wish because his whole family's dead except for himself now. So he'll light up a torch and peer into it first. And
Okay. You peer into it, and it looks like you're just kind of seeing inside of the skull that's been hollowed out. And you see like bits and fragments of the skull have been like broken apart, and you just see like these big chipped pieces of the inside of it. And you see more like flesh ropes kind of growing on the inside of its head. That have,
all right,
like,
pass me
punctured
that
its
bowl
way
of
from the other
acid here.
side.
I'm gonna start throwing acid around in here.
Yeah, I'll go
Okay.
get him a refilled jar of acid for that.
So it's not filling fast enough from this statue that there's any there when you get back to it.
Okay. Well, why don't you? Oh, hey.
Oh, it stinks. I got
Yeah.
the stub.
Thanks for those subs, Captain Kieran. That's fantastic. Why don't you stab it with that weird knife you got?
I haven't used it yet because we didn't know if it was cursed or not.
Oh, okay. You could try.
Sure, why not?
Okay.
I'm
What
a
are you
sucker
stabbing?
for whatever the nearest fleshy bit is.
Okay.
With that
So they're kind
bizarre
of like
black
writhing
dagger.
around. You can't really like reach them without going inside of the skull.
Fine. Goodbye.
So you crawl in. It's kind of like a crawl space. Unless like, what's your character's race?
Halfling.
Okay. It's still like you can't stand up
Gotta
fully,
crouch a little
but
bit.
yeah, your head's ducked a little bit as you like crawl on underneath it. Because there's not like a bottom jaw, so it's just like the head laying there. So you're like crawling through underneath its teeth, underneath its nose. And you get close enough that now that these things are writhing around, they're close enough that you'd be able to slice it. So
All
you
right.
hold the knife and reach out. Give me an attack check.
Let's see how he does with these.
You don't hit. You swipe at it, and you just kind of hit the ground next to it as because it's kind of like writhing around on the ground. So it's writhing around. You slash, it kind of moves out of the way, and you just ping the knife into the ground next to it, which it turns and reacts and starts kind of going towards your hand. What's your AC, Dan?
Probably low enough to die. It's 17 now.
It misses, so it goes and tries to like eat at your hand there, but you're able to move it out of the way. And it's just kind of feeling around, spreading out. Every so often you see its skin shift. You see like its hands, and it has like an ear that kind of like positions, and it seems like it's trying to listen again. Eventually, the mouth opens up and it calls out, "Is anyone there? Hello?"
I'll wait to see if he brings me some acid at this point.
Okay. Is anyone
Does it fill
there?
up?
So,
Acid to meet you.
where did you go to get acid, Chuck?
Oh. Let's see. The next closest spot was down here. Was that right?
Right. And it was a ways down, so you'd have to like lean over the side.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, made my trip down over there
Okay.
and filled it up.
All right. You're not interrupted while you go and do that. You pass
Good.
by the statue that has this like lever thing on it, or like a valve almost looking thing on it,
Yeah.
and pass on by. Go back up. You have another pitcher full of acid.
Yeah. I'll give him that acid.
Okay.
All right. I'll start splashing it
Splashing
at
it.
it a little bit.
Okay. You splash it everywhere it touches and makes contact with these flesh rope things. It just kind of dies and shrivels up, and parts of it shriek. And you kill one of the two flesh ropes that's like inside of the brain, flopping around.
Okay. Does that consume all of my acid I have, or
There's like a splash. They used about 2/3 of it.
okay? Well, I'll keep. Do I see anything else in here, or just more?
There's another flesh rope that's broken through the back of the skull.
Okay. Well, I'll just go ahead and get him with the
You do it
rest
on
of
that
it.
one. It's not dead, but it's still wriggling around. Parts of its skin starts falling off.
All right. Well, what else do I see in here at this point?
The only other thing that you see, if you look kind of towards the back of the skull, where these two broke out. Looks like there is a small stone chest.
Okay. I might just try and throw my grappling hook on it and just pull it.
Okay. Give me a strength test.
No.
15. Not quite. So you throw your grappling hook on it, and it latches to the back. You give it a pull. It does move, but you're not able to like pull it enough that you can get to it.
All right. Well, I'll feed the rope out to the people who actually have strength
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can tug on that rope.
because my strength is 6.
Okay,
I can tug on it.
sure. Who else pulling on it?
Eddie and I.
Okay.
It's goofed up on my
Oh.
character sheet too.
And then Eddie, roll. Okay. The two of you combined with that is enough that you're able to slide this chest out. And you get it kind of like closer to where Dan's at. So he's able to grab it now without interfering with the two flesh ropes.
Aren't
Oh,
checks
one of
roll
them's
under? Or
dead.
am I confusing that with something else?
what's that? No,
Art
that's
checks.
my version of BFRPG.
Oh, okay. Then I actually had a really good strength check when I did it too. Then
Oh,
it would have been a 14.
14.
So if we
Yeah,
just want to
well,
say
I mean-
add to the collective pulling,
Yeah. That's fine. It's still like a 14 wouldn't have been enough to do it.
oh, okay.
So, because I thought it was just a flat 15.
At that point, I'll try and start pushing it from behind out.
Okay.
And if they want to keep pulling,
Yep, you're able to fit it out. It's almost the same size as the opening of this mouth. That you push it out, and it is now in the center of this room here with everybody else.
okay, and the whole chest is stone.
Yes.
Does it look like it opens?
So it looks like it's got a lid that's kind of set in place. Like you see a groove. It's got like a flat top, almost like a mini coffin type thing. If you picture that,
Okay.
you don't really see like anywhere to get your hands, like in that groove or whatever. It doesn't have a handle on it.
Does it look like it would slide open or something? Or
It might. You can try and slide it.
I'll try and figure out which way it wants to slide first, and then
It's
test
got
it
an
on
even
us.
seam all the way around.
I mean, I'll just kind of take my hands and just kind of, test it a little bit and see if there's one way or another.
Doesn't seem to
wants to move.
budge as you're pushing on it.
So we wiggle it forward, we wiggle it backwards, side to side,
Mhm.
corners. Just try every possible direction of attack to see if it moves. If it doesn't,
Yeah, everywhere
Maybe
you're trying to like
twist?
slide this top doesn't seem to do it.
okay,
You try twisting, doesn't seem to.
let's roll it over. See if the bottom's got anything.
Yeah.
So you turn it on its side, and you feel like weight inside of it kind of shift, and it clunks over onto its side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything on the
Now on
bottom?
its side.
Yeah.
It's got a flat bottom. Doesn't seem to have an opening there either, and the lid is still on it.
Is it stone all the way through?
Yep.
We came all this way and we can't figure out how to open a box.
I am going to try and smash the bottom of this chest with that weird sword we found.
Okay.
Oh, or does it maybe fit into the seam?
I guess I could try that first if he's going to suggest it before I hit. Yeah, try.
Okay. You pick it up. It seems a little bit too thick to fit in the seam. You pry it in anyways. Doesn't seem to
Okay.
budge it. It's like
Yeah.
on its side, so you're like poking.
So yeah, I'll try and smash the bottom of this chest with this sword.
Okay. You swipe at the bottom of the chest, and it pings. You take a big chip out of the sword. It doesn't seem to break through the chest.
Okay. I have no goddamn clue. Unless we put some acid on this fucking thing.
I
Yeah,
mean,
we'll put some acid on it. Go refill our
You
jug.
pour some more acid on it. It like cleans the stone, I guess, but
it looks lovely now.
seems to eat away at all of the dirt. It looks like smooth stone, but doesn't react.
I suppose worst case, we could always try and just throw it from somewhere onto something else.
Yeah, I mean, it's stone, right? It should break. Let's pick it up and throw it down.
We're not smart enough
Okay.
to open it.
Okay. Where are you trying? Are you just like picking it up off the ground
Yeah.
and dropping it? Okay. um, you're able to lift it. It's pretty heavy, but the two of you like get underneath it. You pick it up and you drop it, and a few of the corners like chip and break, and you see like cracks form on the side of it, and you hear what sounds like glass shattering from inside of it.
Well, I hope that wasn't important.
You know, got to take risks, right?
Mhm.
No matter what we broke in there, you know, the shit that isn't broken will still be more than what we had before.
That seems to have like a little bit of give on it now, but it's still like hard to open.
I'll do. We just want
Feels
to
like-
drop it again.
Yeah, we're just going to brute force this, Joe. We're just going to keep picking it up
All right,
and
pick it
dropping
up.
it. And
you
picking it
drop
up
it.
and dropping it.
So
No,
you lift it up.
My
and you
character has
drop
an
it.
intelligence of 7, so
You hear more glass break. You pick it up and you drop it again, and it just sounds like a bunch of broken glass hitting other broken glass. But the lid is broken enough now that you're able to pry it off.
Nice. Is there anything left?
So inside, you see this like dark red, almost velvety bag. And it's got like this nice kind of golden pull string on it.
well, we might have gotten a lovely bag out of the deal.
I'll take the bag. Is there anything
Pick up
else?
the bag, and it's kind of heavy.
Okay.
You know,
I'll
maybe
open the
open it up
bag.
and dump the contents out into the bottom of the chest.
You open the bag, and there's a bunch of shattered glass inside of it.
That sucks.
After looking at the bag for a little bit, the way the bottom of it is kind of like, it's not like a flat sewn bag the way that you'd see a lot of them. It's got like kind of an extra fold in the bottom, and the sides are a little bit rounded. So it looks like it was probably housing a sphere at one point. Like it's cut to like hold a sphere. And as you like dump, or are you dumping the contents out into the?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, as you dump the contents out, you see what looks like just, it kind of just looks like a bunch of random broken glass. But you see like a lot of pieces that have this really smooth side to it. Looks like it used to be a glass ball that was probably about like cantaloupe sized.
Mm-hmm.
That's just
Wow.
shattered now.
Well, that shit's
Well-
for nerds anyway. So I go ahead and toss it at the skull.
Okay. The glass
I hope-
you toss at the skull.
I'm
Yeah.
sure that wasn't valuable or important.
In the bag.
Oh, we'll
Okay.
keep the bag. We could put something nice in it.
Okay. Then yeah, I just dump the bag of glass out
Okay.
over the skull.
You do such. It just kind of trickles out, and it's broken glass all around the skull now.
Is there anything else in the box?
You see what looks to be a like a leather sheath, but no knife.
Oh, you got a fucking knife.
Oh, does it look like it belongs to that?
Yeah, it's got like the same art style to it.
I'll sheath that knife, man.
Dark leather.
Well, that's
for it.
convenient. I'll go ahead and put it in there.
Put it in. Fits like a glove.
Lovely. Now I'm less likely to murder myself with it if I fall on it.
It's got a it's like leather, and then it's got this like metal kind of casing around it. So like the edges of the leather have this metal banding to it, and then there's like a skull that kind of resembles the one that you see in this room. That's like a small metal inlay.
Well, maybe somebody can tell me what this means somewhere else. But for now, all I know is I got a dagger and some broken glass and a lovely bag.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know. The only thing I could think of is that weird ripple room. But probably our luck, the crystal ball was needed to go
Open
through
that
that
door.
door. Yeah.
I mean, we could always gather the parts back up and just kind of like
Toss it at it.
yeet it at it instead.
We can also try and stab that ripple door with this weird sword too.
Yeah, that's true. We haven't done that yet. We got a couple things to try. We can fill up our vat of acid again too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the
We're
only
going
thing
to
we've tried is splashing like a small bowl of acid on it, and it sparked.
Yeah, we could try a
We'll
big
take
bowl.
a jug of acid. Yeah. We'll take a jug of acid, a bunch of broken glass, and the weird sword. And we're heading to that ripple door.
We're just gonna
Okay.
apply everything to it at once.
All else fails, Clooney, jump through it.
All else
Yeah.
fails, we got all the makings of a good fight club.
Through that.
Okay. So you guys go back over to that room. The overlay so it fits better. Not that one. There. So what are you trying first when you go into this room?
Maybe we'll try
Walk me
rubbing
through
the
your
broken glass
process.
shards on it first.
Okay. You take some of the broken glass shards and you press it against the door. Nothing happens. Or the wall, I
All
guess, not door.
Perfect. So either it was the wrong thing or it's the wrong thing now.
Doesn't seem to react in any way to the glass touching it.
All right, I think we try the sword next.
Okay. You hold the sword to it, you touch it to it, nothing happens. Doesn't seem to have like a shape for the sword anywhere.
All right. Well, then we'll just pour some more acid on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got like a full bowl of acid now. Okay. So you take that acid and you splash it over this door. And it reacts similarly to when you threw the bowl at it. But kind of like, when an engine gets kicked up, how like if you give it one crank, it kind of sputters at you. Right? But if you like keep going and you give it enough force, it eventually turns over and starts up. That's kind of similar to this reaction. So it like sputters and sparks, but there's enough acid that's been thrown at it now that it kind of crackles, sparks, and you see this circle of purple and black that opens up and shrinks down for a little bit and then opens and fills the entirety of this wall. So now there's this like oval shaped black and purple shape that's like writhing. Seems to be made out of this like weird light almost, but it's like raised a little bit. It kind of looks like a portal.
Maybe I'll take a 10-foot pole and just kind of kind of reach
So-
through it a little bit.
You take your 10-foot pole and you touch it to it. And as you touch the pole to it, the tip of it kind of like shrinks down to a point, and you feel like it's getting pulled out of your hand.
Can I like pull back still, or is it like
You pull back, and as you fight it, it like slingshots back, and your pole's sucked out of your hand.
Okay.
I don't know if that means that we want to go in there or not.
Listen, there's no good answer here.
Pole seems to go intact. It doesn't like, you don't hear it snap or break or anything as it's going through.
I got a lot of rope. We can always try and tie a whole lot of rope to me. And then maybe to the statues. And then I can go in there, and then, I don't know what happens, but you guys pull me back, or I come back. Or I'm dead.
Sure.
These all
There
sound
you
like
go.
bad ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do
Okay.
it.
It's like we'll make
Yeah.
it like a loop around the statues, and then like across the loop we'll make like a T that then goes towards.
Mhm.
I have like 150 feet of rope, so we can
All right.
make this elaborate.
Sure. How do you tie this rope around yourself?
I suspect if I do it in too meaningful of a way, that I'm gonna get like ripped in half by it. So
Make a harness out of it, like
You
over
shouldn't
your
need-
shoulders, around your waist, around your legs, around the bits a few
so
times.
then it can just rip me to pieces all in one go, and hopefully it won't hurt
Yeah,
when I die.
yeah. Or just yeah.
I was thinking maybe I'm wearing probably a belt or something, but I assume the belt will probably give up.
Or we could just go get your previous corpse,
Oh yeah, and we can tie him to the rope.
toss him in, see if we can pull him back out.
Yeah, that sounds like a better idea.
All right, we're gonna use the corpse.
Poor brother
Okay.
Timothy.
So you take one of the corpses. There's a few at your disposal. I'll say, it just takes you a few minutes. You've got this corpse at the base of this portal. It stays open throughout the course of this. So
Good.
We'll tie the rope around Timothy, and
Toss him in.
okay. What are you tying the other end of the rope to?
Statue.
the statues. Two of
Okay.
them.
Okay. So you tie the rope around its waist. You like pick him up, have the other half wrapped around the statue. You toss the rope, or you toss him in with the rope, and he's like shrunk down to a point and pulled through. And then the rope is stretched super tight, and you hear it like crack. The statue is like pulled a little bit, topples over, the rope snaps, and the length of it that's not there gets pulled through.
Well, either we all go through and have a fun new adventure, or we just say this room is off limits.
I mean, it seems so hard to put a death trap in here. Like, this is a lot of work to kill yourself.
I mean, obviously, if they design this for a bunch of stupid fucking, crypt robbing adventurers like us, this is a perfect trap because
It's a lot of work, so we think it's How
Yeah.
far? How 4D is their chess game?
yeah.
Let's see. Give me. Does anyone want to make an intelligence test?
No,
I can make one.
I mean I can make one, but it won't be a good one.
11.
Okay.
If you want, I can use one of those rerolls if you suggest it, Joe.
There's an aspect to this dungeon, a feature, or maybe a feature that may be missing, that I'm wanting to see if any of your characters notice, if none of you do.
I'll tell you what, I'll go and use a reroll on that. See if I can do better than 11.
All right. We just got a new reroll bot. Thanks, courtesy of Captain Karen.
Well, then
Okay.
I won't even adjust the sheet. I'll just re-roll it. How did I do?
Better.
17.
17.
Chuck, your character feels pretty confident that they've explored almost everywhere in this dungeon at this point.
Okay.
Because there's not really anywhere, like the last place that you guys had been to that didn't really have, like that room with the skull was kind of like the last spot, right? That
Yeah.
connected to the rest of the dungeon. And this whole time that you've been exploring it, you think back to how you got in this dungeon, which was you drilled into the top of it through the
Yeah.
ceiling.
Oh, yeah. We haven't actually found an entrance otherwise. Have we?
And that's the detail that you notice. That there's not a door to this dungeon anywhere. Like there's no way in. That
You
you
think
found.
maybe this is the door?
And that
What do
would
you all
be
think?
what you kind of conclude. This is like a door that's kind of on the edge of the whole dungeon. Doesn't seem like anywhere else really leads to a doorway. Doesn't look like one's been covered up or anything. You don't see like
Yeah.
a place that maybe it was like a staircase. Like you didn't see any indication that there was a door anywhere else. This
So
portal is kind of shaped like a door. It's at the edge of it.
this is how they got into the crypt.
That's what you would infer.
What
Wow.
were they protecting? They had their corpses here, and they had that crystal ball that we destroyed.
Mm-hmm. And the dagger.
Mhm.
Which seemed to have been protected, or the scabbard or sheath was protected at least.
Yeah. I mean, part of me really thinks that, either maybe they used it to seal away whatever those fleshy, talky tentacles were, or they were protecting that orb we destroyed. But I mean, the question is, do we,
Or both. Or neither.
or both? Yeah, I don't know. Do we just go back up to the campsite and tell them what we found, or do we, let our adventuring curiosity take the bait and hop into this door?
Let's
Or
do the
both, or
Mario
neither.
through that portal.
Yeet.
Who's going first then?
Dibs.
Clooney goes first.
Okay.
Goodbye, cruel world.
Or Dan goes first. Okay.
So, you said Clooney's jumping through first?
Why not?
Okay.
It could potentially be the end of George Timothy Clooney.
Clooney, you run and just hurl yourself at this portal. You jump through. You're shrunk down to a point. You don't feel any pain. The others see him jump through. Don't hear any
You
screams,
do
see any
cease to
blood.
exist. No.
What's everyone else in the room doing?
Eat. I'm going
Well,
through.
yeah, we don't have any feedback that it worked or didn't, so we're presuming it did.
All right.
In we
The
go.
rest of you yeet yourselves through this doorway. After you throw yourselves through the portal, the first thing that you notice, you're just being bombarded by like heat and light, and it's kind of humid almost as you open your eyes and kind of readjust, and you find yourself in sand. And you look around, and it looks like you're back in the desert that you were in previously, that this mining camp was in. But you're not at the mining camp. You look around, you see like statues and ruins kind of surrounding this monolith that resembles that like ripply door. And this monolith's just kind of standing free on this platform. It's kind of tilted. The foundation's failed a little bit. You see all these crumbled statues and things, and it looks like this used to be a building that's just kind of fallen to waste and the sands have broken in. But yeah, you all are just standing kind of out in the middle of the desert. Not sure where exactly, but
Okay.
you have a
Can we,
feeling
like,
that you're probably somewhere in the area.
Can we maybe get a bearing of the sun or something like that? And is there a way to go backwards through this?
I was gonna say, can I go and jump at the monolith and see if I go back?
You jump at the monolith and you just hit into stone.
Ouch.
Someone want to
So,
pee on this thing?
I'm
sure.
down.
Can't be
I
me,
don't
though.
think
I'm
your
already
pee
spent.
is that acidic.
You don't know what I've been eating.
You pee on it, some of the dust clears away, and doesn't spark or anything.
Hmm.
Oh, well, frick.
Okay.
This monolith
Well,
does almost look exactly like it. Almost looks like that was a monolith that was like built into the wall on the inside of that dungeon, and then this is just like that same monolith, just freestanding here in this room that's collapsed.
Yeah, where's the shit we threw through the portal, Joe?
Oh yeah. So you see a 10-foot pole laying in the sand, completely fine. You see a snapped piece of rope and a body in two pieces.
Good thing I
That
didn't actually do
appeared
that.
to have been ripped in half. So you've got like bloody rope and yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna just abandon that piece of rope.
all right. Well, we gotta. Either
Does there appear to be any cool acid pouring statues around this monolith?
No, the statues here are pretty featureless. They've been out in the elements and in the sun and the sand and wind. Like you're in one of the ruin sites that you would have known about knowing about this country. Like there's a bunch of these sites all over Veshkal, and there's people usually stay out of them. There's all sorts of like the locals think they're cursed and evil, and they're just very against people going in them. And some of them are just surface level like this. Like you don't see anything really around this one. It just looks like it was like a single building that has this monolith in it, some statues. But you would know there's a lot of sites like this kind of all over the place in this country. That's about all you know.
Well, we really kind of screwed ourselves over, didn't we?
Yeah, we gotta find something before we die.
I mean, imagine you have
How,
like some rations on yourself.
how
It'd be
how
pretty
tall?
hard to navigate exactly. Like you're not familiar enough. I don't know if any of you said you were from Veshkal actually,
No, not. I don't think we are.
No.
which is part of why I had you guys choose where your characters were from in the character creation. But yeah, there's not really any like discerning landmarks that you can see. This desert's like you're kind of surrounded by just hills in the desert, so you don't really see any far off landmarks that you can get your bearings on just from where you're at right here.
Now, I was gonna see about maybe climbing up the monolith. I've got rope and a grappling hook, more rope and a grappling hook.
Okay, and it's not super tall. I mean, it's probably about 10 feet, so it's not like way up there. But you're definitely able to do that. Climb up on top.
Just
Look out.
see if I can see anything from here. Maybe it's not a big boost in height, but
You're just kind of surrounded by sand dunes and hills and stuff.
well,
I'll say like you can tell like where the sun's at and all that. You can't really get a good bearing off of that. None of the stars are out. You guys might be able to navigate by the stars when it gets dark. It gets to be nighttime. You'd be able to see some direction, but just off of like you can get like a north-south because you know about what time it was. So looking at where the sun is, you can tell north, south, east, west from that. But you don't know if you assume that you're at least south of where you guys came in because you guys were pretty close to the northern border. of where you guys came into the country, and it's kind of like a narrow stretch there. So it would you would guess that it's way more likely that you're south of the camp, but you don't know how far east or west.
Okay. So do we
So
want to
I was
wait
gonna,
here?
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, why don't we try and like get some cover and protection from, the sun?
Mhm.
Dig a little pit, hide underneath some of these statues, whatever.
Yep.
So we're not trying to march in the heat. And then once night rolls around, we set off across. Then we see the stars.
Yep.
Maybe figure out
And
navigation plan.
I'd say probably most people in this era, especially adventurers, are probably familiar with at least some of the, that'd be almost basic survival knowledge on navigation is just like the key, you know. Maybe couldn't pinpoint it exactly, but you could definitely get a general direction from that at nightfall. And there's plenty of rubble and things here too that you'd be able to stay out of the sun.
Okay.
That
That's
sounds
what
like
I'm
a
down
plan.
for. Yeah.
We'll rest during the day and then try and travel at night here.
Okay. I'm gonna say it falls to nightfall. Um, Nothing really happens. Stars come out. They match the sky that you're familiar with, so it doesn't look like you were transported to another plane or something like that. You're pretty confident you're just in a different part of the desert. Um, and you can tell that you are, say, southeast of the camp that you're at. So you have like just a general direction to head. You don't know exactly how long it'll take you to get there. Might be a bit of traveling before you see like a landmark or something. Um, but you know the direction you need to head to get back to the camp.
Okay.
I
Let's
don't
go
think
that
we've got
way.
much choice. I might salvage some of the sacks and things that was on Timothy's session in case we need to make some more cover for
Okay.
ourselves. If we come up to another day, he had like a large sack, a small sack, and a backpack, and we can just scrap those down into just fabric and stuff that we can use for
Sure.
cover.
Yep. You're able to do that. So you guys like traveling by night then pretty much?
Yeah, we're gonna travel by night.
Okay. So you go your first day, or you travel like through the entirety of the night. Sun comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing eventful really happens. Um, you wait through that day. You rest. You're able to make cover for yourselves. Night falls again. Halfway through your night, you come across the first landmark that you recognize, which is that town of people that you traveled and visited before, that the bandits were from, that were raiding the town.
Well, do we want to be seen by them or do we want to try and move past them? We didn't
Takes you a second to
exactly.
recognize it because you're coming at it from the opposite side, but after a little bit, you're like, oh, it's them. And you're far enough away, they don't know you're there.
I mean, if we're not hurting for supplies or anything, if we recognize it's this town, we know where we're at, we could just skirt around it.
Yeah. You'd be cutting it real close, but it's not too much farther to get to the camp from here.
I wouldn't say that we had the best relationship with them.
Yeah. Not quite hostile, but they're not too happy with you guys.
Yeah.
I don't want any of us to accidentally fall down and die
Yeah.
in their camp.
Yep. You don't want to give them any excuse to kill bandits and raiding their village.
Yeah. So we'll try and make it back to the camp.
So you pass around. You get back to the camp, I'll say. And that's probably where we're going to wrap it for this
Okay.
It's Jank's out too. You guys make it out. You're at the camp. They're like in the process of dismantling the wire and they had like a whole winch thing for lowering you guys down, and that's just been disassembled and moved because they said they were going to leave it for 2 days, I think.
That sounds right. We probably passed that by now.
Yeah, you're like a day past that. So you show up. Is there any particular, like, are you just walking back into town?
Yeah. I mean, it's like everything. You got to play it cool. Like,
Joe, they're disassembling it, right?
Yeah, I mean it's mostly been like it's been they're disassembling like the base of it right now. So like the
Right.
the
But
cable's
it's
been
right
pulled
at the mouth of the hole, right?
up. Yeah,
Like
more
right
or
next
less.
As we walk into town, I'm gonna walk over and just kind of while they're working, just kind of come up beside them and kind of lean over and go, long way down, and then turn around and keep walking.
They're gonna like look at you and go back to their work and then double take like, where'd you come from? We thought you guys died down there.
Nearly. Some
Yeah.
of us.
So I turn around and be like, we are dead. Just kidding.
Ooh, yeah, we're not.
Yeah,
we
we're
didn't-
actually thirsty and hungry though.
No one told me you guys came up the thing.
We didn't.
We didn't. We found another way through.
Oh, okay. Where does that come up?
Like
A long way away.
a day and a half that direction.
It was that big down there?
No, there's like weird magic shit going on.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah. We
Sure.
went through a one-way
we kinda-
door that took us out into the desert.
yeah, we kind of got spit out into the desert. Not necessarily entirely by choice.
Huh. I'm sure Athenheimer would like to hear all about that. He was kind of disappointed that you guys hadn't come up, but I mean, I'm sure he's going to be ecstatic that you guys made it back and you can tell him about it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a weird place down there with some weird creatures.
yeah, he was planning on going down with you guys if you came back up, but we assumed it was too dangerous to go down, seeing that we lost one of our guys in a trap and you guys didn't come back after 2 days. So we figured you all died and we were just gonna abandon it.
Yeah, it's kind of nasty down there.
Yeah, I wouldn't go down there. There's a giant tentacled monster fucking down there. It's not good.
Don't like the sound of that.
It's still there, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
We killed some of it, but not all of it.
Like, yeah.
how did you guys say you got out again?
There was a door that you have to pour acid on that turns into like a weird puddle on the wall. And
Okay.
then you can jump through that puddle and it spit us out of a monolith, a couple days that way.
Yeah, we kind of took a chance that it would spit us out somewhere that was not in the dungeon.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think those things could come through that?
They don't seem well, they do have intelligence. But they seem to be focused and kind of based out of one particular spot in the dungeon.
Okay.
This giant gaping chasm.
We also don't know that the effects that we kicked into motion on that portal last terribly long either. So we're not sure if it's still
Yeah.
The other side was completely dormant.
Okay. Well, I
I
guess
mean, there might be
Athenheimer's
some
probably gonna
merit
wanna
in
hear about
going
the
and
rest of this.
closing the door.
Or say that again, Dan.
So there might be some merit in going and closing some doors, maybe, but it seemed like
yeah, we just assembled the rope. We could reform it. It'll probably take us a few hours, and that crew probably doesn't want to do it right now at night. If you wanted to go back down,
We don't need to do it. We've been walking in the desert for a couple days. I would like a bath and some food,
like, oh,
and
yeah,
some water. Maybe
absolutely.
a nap.
they bring you back over to the mess hall, get you taken care of.
maybe just have somebody like keep an eye on this though, like for a while, maybe for a long while.
Yeah, I would be
Like-
more concerned about it coming up through the hole than I would about it going through the portal. Like giant
it's
long
that
tentacles. Giant long tentacles that mimic human voice and have some form of intelligence to it.
Oh yeah, if you hear something talking in there, don't answer.
Not good.
Yeah.
big? Okay, noted.
You
Yeah.
hear
I don't
something
think I'm
talking
gonna be
in there,
going down there.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, the way the rope snapped under tension, I bet with all the tentacles and the size of that thing, it would probably tear itself apart trying to go through.
Oh yeah, there's just so much of it, you know.
Just loose flesh for the most part.
Yeah, it would probably
maybe
by
it's
the
sticking
time
through like a
the-
giant spaghetti noodle.
yeah, it would have to like ball up and toss itself in at once. But I mean,
It would
Yeah.
just look like a whole bunch of like woodland animals coming out of a wood chipper on the other side.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, I would be way more concerned about that thing crawling up out of the hole that we drilled.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That's a fact.
Okay. Well, I'll talk about that with Athenheimer tomorrow. He's
You should
he's
probably
at
do that.
another
Like,
campsite right now. But I think
let
he's coming
everybody
back
know.
tomorrow or the next day.
Everybody know. Danger noodle.
All right.
Yeah.
While you guys are talking, another group of people come back into the camp. You see like a group of 3. They've all got like giant backpacks on them. They're dressed kind of like miners, or like the miners in this camp, but they've got like adventuring packs and things on them. And you see them just like walk straight past you guys and go to the beds.
So they've got the right idea right there.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's where we're going to wrap it. So you guys get back in your beds and cots and have a good full rest. We'll pick up next session with you guys in the morning when Athenheimer is supposed to come back and probably have a discussion with him. Decide what to do from there.
We'll see if we are rated by danger noodles.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I hope not.
I hope not too. But I'm highly suspicious.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody who tuned in and was watching. That's where we're going to wrap it. Let's see. What have we got going on here shortly? We've got Things from the Flood on Monday.
Well, wait, before that, so today is technically Saturday for us. Saturday, 1 p.m. Central, over on Free League Publishing. We've got Forbidden Lands. So yeah, 1 p.m. Central. Friday night, I will be over on all the RPGs for Tales from the Loop. Sunday night, I'll be over on Steam Steel and Murder for Shadowrun. And then Monday, over on Free League Publishing, Joe, Dan, and I will be over for Things from the Flood. Wednesday is Spectaculars, 10 p.m. Central on Defenders of Kobold. Thursday, I'll be on Devil's Run Twitch. Devil's Run is a new post-apocalyptic game that Matt's doing a demo of, so I'll be a player in that. And then Friday, we'll be back on DOK for Alien. We're going to be doing the Charity to the Gods Alien starter set, so that'll be a lot of fun.
I'm excited for that.
Lots to come up.
That'll be good. And yeah, and then next Saturday we'll be recording our next session of Watercolors and Warriors. So that'll be YouTube only.
And that Sunday is going to be Saltmarsh, right?
Yep, and Saltmarsh.
Cool. A lot going on.
Like too much shit going on.
Too much. But yet,
Lots of
it'll
stuff.
get done.
But yeah, thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Thanks, everybody.